Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the Dallas Stars. So the Dallas Stars had a kind of quiet summer. They made a couple of secretly sneaky moves, but for the most part, the Dallas Stars were fairly quiet. So we're going to take a look at my thoughts on the Stars. Can they get into the postseason? We're going to go over that today. So we're going to start off with what happened last season. What went wrong for the Dallas Stars? And the Dallas Stars had a pretty solid season overall. Obviously they go to this, I think they went to the first or second round. They made the playoffs. They came up short. And it was the first round, right? It was against the Oilers, I think. But when you look at who they added and their goals for, goals against, and that's where we're going to start. Their goals for, 21st in the league. And that's going to lead us to the bigger point here as we move forward. 21st in the league, which is bottom 10 in the National Hockey League. It's just not good enough, and that's what's going to lead me into my next point, so we'll come back to that. Goals against, 13th in the National Hockey League. They had a really good blue line last year. You look at Esa Lindell, Miro Heiskanen, John Klingberg, Ryan Suter as your top four. Pretty solid, and I think that they're going to be able to add to that with what they did this summer. Colin Miller comes in. Yanni Hakanpää re-signed. He's there. They acquired him in a trade, so Hakanpää's there. Will Butcher, more of a depth addition, probably going to play with the Texas Stars. And then Thomas Harley, who I think has a chance of making the roster in the fall. And that's really it for the Dallas Stars. Really, their key addition this summer was trying to address the goal scoring thing. And obviously, when you lose Alexander Radulov, you have to replace that scoring production in the top six. And how did they do that? Mesa Marchman comes over from the Florida Panthers. It was a bidding war down to the final minutes between Carolina and Dallas was able to pull out Mesa Marchman. Huge pickup for them. This is a guy that can score goals, and he's done that for the last couple years with the Florida Panthers. Some question the longevity. Has he proven it long enough to give him that kind of investment? Guess we're going to wait to see what happens. But Mesa Marchman definitely adds a dimension to this team that they desperately needed. And here's the thing. Listen, even their ownership called out, during the summer here, the Dallas Stars ownership said, listen, our top guys are not performing at the level that they should and that they're expected to with how much they make. And you guys know who those guys are. It's Tyler Sagan and Jamie Benn. That has been their Achilles heel here for the last couple of years. They've had some decent depth here and there, but at the end of the day, their top guys haven't been able to get it done. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what your team is kind of on the back of. And they just haven't been able to carry that group. Hopefully things look better for them. Tyler Sagan is going to have a full year of recovery from that injury. Now he's had the summer off. I think that's huge for him. Jamie Benn, again, still a lot of questions around him now since, 2016? When he won the Hart Trophy. I mean, that was a long time ago now. And it's been kind of one of those things where he's just declined and just not really gotten back to that. He's shown little snippets here and there, and I thought there was some kind of emergence last season. It just kind of faded out once again. So with that said, the Dallas Stars have a great goaltender. We saw that in the postseason. That was kind of on display for everybody. Jake Ottinger is your number one guy next year. But with that said, I don't think they make the playoffs. I think the Central Division is going to be difficult next year. And I just don't think that those top guys are good enough. Like I said, it's the Jamie Benns and the Tyler Sagans. I really like that defense. I think adding Colin Miller, obviously I have a soft spot for Hakanpää when he was with the Ducks. They got bigger on the blue line. And Thomas Harley coming in is a good skilled defenseman, but they didn't address the key issue here, and the scoring. The scoring during the regular season has been a huge issue for this team, and I just don't think they make the postseason. And not even that. I do think they finish somewhere between 5th, 6th, and 7th in their division this year. And that sucks, because I have to be honest. I look at the other teams in that division. I like Minnesota more than I like Dallas. I like Colorado. I think point taken, they won the Stanley Cup. I like St. Louis. I think they've got a lot of depth. They added to that. And the Nashville Predators, I think Nashville did really well adding Ryan McDonough, keeping Philip Forsberg there. Juice, if he was healthy, could have really gave a run to Colorado in that first round series. And I still have Winnipeg ahead of the Dallas Stars at this point because they've still got some really good pieces there as well. So, Dallas is kind of in a sort of bind with their identity, and I think that now Rick Bowness leaves. He said he was going to retire. He didn't even want to re-sign with Dallas. Then he takes an assistant job in Montreal. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and it just seems like Dallas is a little bit out of sorts. And it's hard. It's kind of one of those things where it's a job. You're probably going into a tough situation. I think the Stars will be on the precipice of a rebuild here. If it's not next summer, maybe 2 summers from now in 2024, 2025. I think the Dallas Stars are going to be having to cook up something because this team is not where they need to be. And when you look at the Central Division, it is still a very good division. I just don't think they're up to par. And really, legitimately, the only 2 teams I have them ahead of are the Arizona Coyotes and the Chicago Blackhawks. So, guys, let me know what you think down below. What do you think of the Dallas Stars acquisitions this summer? Did they do enough? Can they get back to the postseason in 2023? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. And, of course, I'll see you again next time.